Pokemon Sword and Shield came out. I'm playing Shield myself.
I'm playing Sword. Don't forget me.
This game, the reason I'm so excited about Pokemon Shield is it's been so long since I've played a Pokemon game that I felt like I have when I played Blue and when I played Silver back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, when we're like, I gotta catch everything in the zone, I gotta trade it with my friends. This game recaptured that for me. So when you were playing Pokemon back in the day, I know this happens to be for all of us. Weren't you thinking the whole time, like, man, I wish this was 3D so I could like walk in the grass and see it?
Yeah.
Pokemon Sword and Shield.
More, I was thinking like, I wish this was real life.
Well, okay, that was first. Second was
Pokemon
definitely.
Go got close, but yeah.
Right. But yeah, so this game, you actually do walk around. There are moments in wild zones where you're fully 3D. We're able to like turn them out. You know, that's one thing. My one big downside is that when you're in town, you can't turn the screen to see all the way around in the town. I like to see that.
I think they did a good job though at making it feel like all you see is like the Game Boy. You know, like one screen. And
When you're in town, it does feel like that.
Yeah.
But when you're in the wild, you could spin it around and actually check out everything.
Not to sidetrack too much, but do you think they would ever make a Pokemon MMO?
World of Warcraft added Pokemon to it. In World of Warcraft, there's now a Pokemon game. So it would be, if you really wanted to try that out, it would be that. But they really should.
Created like a Pokemon MMO, right?
Yeah, I said it like the last time I was here.
Oh yeah.
But it's like you like download it out of like a zip file and everything.
It's not legit.
But it's like, I mean, it's not like legit funded by like Nintendo or anything. Because like when you buying things off the store, like you can literally buy like Deadpool masks and things like that. You know, just random.
Yeah.
Like every costume for costumes. But it is a Pokemon MMO. So
To check it out.
it was pretty cool. I played a little bit. I got to like level 30, and I was kind of just like, I stopped playing.
The other complaint I would have is that Nintendo needs to embrace voice acting already. I'm so tired of like.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know why they stick with that.
Yeah, I think it's. I think I've heard before that they were like, oh, we want to make sure that it matches the voice in your head essentially. Like it's something that you can relate to. But Master Chief, all these characters we always relate to, and they all speak. So that's one thing I wish they did the voice acting. But otherwise, this game is so freaking good. Yeah. You start off as this kid who has a friend that you guys are both going to go out and be Pokemon masters. Same old thing.
Yeah.
What's cool is in your small town, the actual current champion lives in that town and is your friend's older brother. And so he's the one that's sponsoring you to join this like challenge. And the zone is a little bit different. This Galar zone is a little different than others. And the fact that you have like, it's a circuit, like it's actually an event and you have stadiums you go to instead of like, and so you're going through and you go to these different gyms. And what's unique about these gyms is they have missions beforehand and they're all like mini games. So I just did one where you have to like, you have these things will tell you, you're about to fall. It's snowy. You're about to fall into a pit, so you have to turn, and your controller will shake. So you have to like really kind of barely walk around and find your way through. At first, I thought, oh, these are going to be tedious. I just want to get to the battles. No, they're actually all really fun. They feel like playing Mario Party. You guys remember Mario Party?
Yeah.
They feel like Mario Party games, so they're a lot of fun. The Pokemon, they don't evolve the same way every time, so. Yeah, sure. I've got my starter Pokemon and they all evolve like at level 24, whatever, 34, something like that. But some Pokemon evolve when you have to get 3 crits in a row. That's for Farfetch'd. So heads up, if you have a Farfetch'd, you have to get 3 crits in a row to get him to evolve. So there's different ones like that. I have this one Pokemon that they'll give it to you for free at the breeding place. And if he's bold personality, like you can look up the Pokemon's personality. If he's a bold personality, it's an electric guitar type Pokemon. Like this is like a lizard that, if he's bold personality, he'll come up and he'll be a high amperage Pokemon to where he's got these yellow flails and stuff like that. And he has different abilities if he does that. And if he's low amperage, so he's kind of almost like a bass guitar kind of thing, he'll come out with different abilities that are more about defense. I happen to get the bass one, but I could breed him with a Ditto. Of course, I got a Ditto. Thank you for Tabby. And I'm able to breed him again and hopefully get a bold one so I have one of each. This is the first Pokemon game in ages that I'm excited to catch them all. I haven't gone to catch them all since Silver, realistically.
Does this game have just the original ones, or is it all the...
It has new ones and original ones.
Very little in the original, though, right?
Not a lot of them, yeah. Because, we're at what? Like we're going to be around 900, if not more, Pokemon.
I do have a Vulpix, though.
I have a Vulpix as well.
Nice. I kept that on my team.
I'm trying to get it to evolve, and I have a feeling it takes an advanced evolve, because I'm feeding it levels right now. And so I bet it has to have like a Firestone or something like that.
How do you find that stuff out? How did you find out like the Farfetch'd?
I just tweeted up this morning or last night the list of exactly how to evolve everything.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have to go through it and see what Vulpix is.
Yeah.
Luckily, shout out to Tabby. She's our friend. She has been. It feels like streamer privilege. You hear about streamer privilege all the time. We're like, oh, at BlizzCon, you guys get all the extra loot or all the extra gold or whatever because you guys are streamers. I kind of feel the way because Tabby's just feeding me all these things. I have in my team. I have all 3 starters because she gave me one and then she restarted the game and gave me the other one.
Oh, man.
Yeah. She
You
gave me the game
then.
So super thanks to Tabby. She's been just feeding me all the cool stuff.
Yeah,
and she's like,
badass.
she beat the game and she's like, hey, I'm ready to give you more stuff. And the hard part
She
is
beat the game already?
yeah.
Oh my
She's
gosh.
like, well, there's another person we have in our like podcast group that's never beat the game. And
Okay.
But it was the hard part with me is beating the game is like every time I get to a new zone, I want to catch everything in the zone.
Yeah.
So it's hard to do that. But yeah, she's like, I need you to catch more Pokemon so you could trade with me something because you can't just give somebody Pokemon. You have to trade them. I'm like, okay, let me just catch more garbage Pokemon and trade with you, I guess. But anyways, it's a lot of fun. The zone's super enticing. It's one of the best stories. The best story to me was White and Black. Have you guys ever played White and Black? You played White and Black?
I think I did. Yeah, I played the white one. I think.
Yeah.
Is that the one with like a dog on the cover?
I want to say it might
Lion
be. Yeah, I
looking
think it
at?
did actually.
Okay, yeah.
I liked White and Black because the villain in it, or the antagonist, I guess, he wanted to just make sure all Pokemon were free, and he didn't like the Pokeball system. So it actually brought up questions of like, is Pokemon fairly treated? Yada yada yada. That had the best story. This one was a pretty good one because Galar region is representative of England. It's a lot about like almost like a Camelot story, and the fact that there was these 2 heroes a long time ago, and you're trying to uncover what these 2 heroes did to protect the world.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
did run into that. They were talking about it was like a little statue. I
There's
like how
this-
it's very subtle, and then you figure out that it's something bigger.
Right. So there's the tapestries first to kind of show the story, and then you realize,
Yeah.
oh, there's missing tapestries.
Yeah.
There's this, and then you realize it was 2 heroes, and they had a sword and a shield.
Mhm.
And stuff like that. So I do like the idea that there's this mystery the whole time you're trying to solve it, which before was like, yeah, there's a coming apocalypse, you need a certain Pokemon for it, or you're just trying to become champion. But I think the first one was all about Team Rocket trying to fight Team Rocket off and their corruption. There's always been a side story. The side story for this one's been a lot of fun. The Pokemon have been really creative. There has been a few Pokemon I've come across that are like just straight up silly.
Mhm.
But that's Pokemon. There's always going to be some that are like,
Yeah.
okay, that's a cow you guys put a bell on. And now all of a sudden it's
Yeah.
like Bellion or some random thing, Really great though. And the big feature for this one is that there's this Dynamaxing. Now, how do you like
Yeah.
Dynamaxing?
I think it's badass. Because I
Awesome.
was going to go back to what you said, stadiums. Stadiums are way better than the gyms.
Holy cow,
For sure. I love having the
They're-
crowd around you and everything.
yeah. And it just feels
Amps
like
up,
epic,
yeah.
especially when you get into Dynamaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, speaking of the stadium still, that little mini games, yeah, I did the sheep one. So I just finished the grass one. And
Okay.
I like how the battles are in the game. So you can kind of skip it, but why do you want to skip battles? Because you
Right.
want to level your Pokemon. So I thought that was kind of neat too.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like, oh, there's going to be a bunch of dumb little mini games.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dynamaxing with the crowd cheering and everything is pretty badass. Yeah, I liked it.
So the way Dynamaxing works is of course, you're one of the few that have this Dynamaxing ability. And what it is, you can make your Pokemon like the size of Godzilla.
Oh,
It's freaking huge. But so can every gym leader. And your Pokemon can only be Dynamax for 3 turns. And when you do Dynamax, you have to kind of time it right because you're like, okay, I can. If you happen to be at an advantage, like if I'm a Leaf going against a fire, like, okay, I need everything I can to beat this guy out. Which of course you didn't go in prepared if that was the case, but nevertheless, you have those 3 turns. So you're like, okay, I could do a big powerful move now, and then I could do. So I've had it one time where I actually had to do the strategy the correct way, to where I used my Dynamaxing to like just plow through his team. But then he Dynamaxed right when I was leaving my Dynamax. So I had to wait for 3 turns of his turn. But I had my turtle Pokemon, I can't remember his name. But I had him use Protect, which means I can avoid 1 damage. Or I can avoid the next ability. So I just sat there and like tanked the next 3 moves while they're just these huge moves. And they put so much budget into how those moves look. Like it looks like you're like bringing down the sun upon them.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's in general, it's the best Pokemon game I've played in a long time. What do you think about it?
Oh,
Really?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
far the best because it's basically everything we wanted for years. With
That's
Pokemon.
exactly
It's the
right
same-
there. That
yeah,
statement. It's what we've been
Pokemon,
wanting.
What we've been wanting though. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I liked. Well, yeah. Overall, I love the game, but some of the stuff they made convenient too. My big thing was how you could bring Pokemon from your extra stash that you're over. What do you have 6 on the team or whatever?
Yeah.
The stash you can bring it over anytime you want.
It's so cool.
Out
So
of the
say you
box.
catch a
Super
Pokemon and you're like,
convenient.
oh my God, I want to
Yeah.
level this thing up.
Yeah.
You don't have to, like before, go to your box. You have to go to the
Yeah.
nearest Pokemon Center and get it. Now you're just like, do you want this in your party or do you want to send it to the box? So you can put it in your party. And then it's smallest things like the fact that the Mart and the Poké Center are in the same building now.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
Oh,
how great is that?
Yeah.
That's so just a weird little thing that are like,
Yeah.
thank God.
Yeah. I wonder if that helps with the camera view thing because you know how you talk about you wish you could turn it.
Yeah, I bet it
wonder
does.
if making the town smaller but maybe making it feel big.
It feels
with the
better.
camera,
The
yeah.
town feels better, but it is
Yeah.
technically probably smaller.
Yeah.
One extra thing, hear me out on this. Have you tried this out? Have you tried casual control?
Is that the one-handed thing you were
The
talking
one-handed
about?
thing.
No.
Okay, so you could do, you could do two hands or whatever. The Switch is kind of wide though, and you could go casual controls where it ends up using the directional pad up on, or the analog up on top, and then the pad on the bottom that's normally a D-pad. You could use as your buttons. So you have like all your buttons there. So you could use the entire game in one hand. The only thing is in the wilds when you could do full 3D control, you can't. You just steer and eventually turns like you would like the old school platformers. Yeah. It feels like an N64 platformer that way. The reason I love this is, I don't know, like you could be playing Pokemon while I've been playing it on the treadmill. Mm-hmm. And so I'm on the treadmill, I'm playing Pokemon, and it does a great job of totally forgetting that I'm on a treadmill because I'm sitting there trying to like, I've been timing my gym.
Walking in the wild with it.
Right? And so I'm just like, oh, I'll do the raids and stuff like that because there are raids in this game now.
Oh, yeah, I need to do that still.
We'll talk about those, but yeah. And I really think the one-handed thing is a really cool added thing that I think was probably no big deal to them. And yet for me is like made me play this game way more. Yeah. Because I'll be sitting there and I'll have it up. I'll have my Switch up on the side. I haven't played it on the TV at all. I've only played it on the actual Switch itself. I'll have the Switch up on the side while I'm editing whatever. And I'll be doing whatever. And I'll go over to it and I'll, catch a couple more or whatever. And then go back to it. It just feels kind of easier to hop in and out with the one-handed controls. Yeah. And then another thing is, of course, the raids. Yeah. So there's out in the wild, there are these red beams that come up. And then these like rock formations. And when you approach them, you're basically fighting a Dynamaxed Pokemon. But the reason you want to do these raids is you can catch that Pokemon at the end, and you'll need either the assist of people online or just randoms. They'll throw you with randoms too. And there's a chance if it's a purple beam, that's a rare Pokemon. And then if it's a purple beam and you have a 5% chance of that being a gigantic whatever the fuck Pokemon that are like Dynamaxing beyond that. So they Dynamax and they have different abilities. So you know what else is like Max Pyro or whatever? Yeah, Max this, Max that. There's ones that are called G Max Pyro that are even stronger than Dynamaxing. And you have a 5% chance in a purple beam, which is really rare too, of getting those.
Dang, that's pretty neat.
There's some cheats you can do online, like all Nintendo games. You can cheat it and get those things a little easier, but you can watch YouTube videos on that. And anyways, I mean, what a fantastic game, honestly, guys. It's super good. It's exactly what we wanted as kids. You said it right there. Yeah. Anything else you want to throw in before we give it a rating?
No, yeah, you pretty much nailed it, yeah.
All right.
I mean, I do like the different way I don't know if it's not convenient, but it's kind of neat at the same time. The Pokemon just can't evolve after the levels. How do you feel actually about that?
I like it because my dumb brain, like I tweeted out the Pokedex so you guys can see, this evolves into that. But I like going into a Pokemon game, any game of the Pokemon games, and not knowing if it evolves. And so I'll just level it up and be like, does this evolve? What's evolved? What's it look like? You know? Yeah. And they're like, oh, it looks cool. Or oh, it looks dumb. Let me switch out Pokemon because I got to look cool. And so and so I like doing that. And this game, now you're adding an extra layer to that. It's like, okay, this thing doesn't evolve. Let me have to look it up or just try it out or ask a friend. Tabby's the one told me about the Farfetch thing. Just,
yeah, this whole you having all three of the main Pokemon, I need to get on that.
I'll breed them though. Right now I'm pumping out EVs right now. I'm just breeding all EVs. Okay. I have like 7 or 8 EVs right now.
Why? What are they? Why?
Because there's like 7 or 8 different versions of EV.
Okay.
It's not just fire, water, electric. Okay. Now there's like psychic and dark and stuff like that.
I want the water one though.
Okay. Well, I'll give you an EV. Do you have a Ditto?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I probably don't.
I'll see if Tabby can give me an extra Ditto.
Psychic has been there for years.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, out of the original 3.
Can you breed a Ditto with a Ditto?
I don't know. That seems gross.
I think it would probably just give you a random...
smashing Play-Doh.
Yeah. It'd probably just give you a random Pokemon. Like,
I'd make Ditto turn into Colonel Sanders.
All right. So
of course, Pokeballs.
Out of Pokeballs.
Out of 100.
Out of 100. I'm going to say...
4 or 5.
I'm going to give it like 3. No. I'm going to give it a solid like 90... 93. It's pretty high up for me because it really is what I wanted. Yeah. There are a few things like I wish I could fully go 3D in the towns. That's probably my biggie one. But other than that, it's really cool.
Voice acting.
Voice acting already. That's a Nintendo in general though. For some reason,
I don't know why they keep it up like that. Every game.
It's really weird. But yeah. What do you think?
Definitely like a 9. Yeah. For sure.
A 9
or
out of
90.
9.0.
That's the thing is like, okay, 9.3 out of 10 then? And then, it's different. So yeah, so 90. 93.